Okay, but let me know how many new players they started the game. 2 players. There are two. There are not so many players, new players in the starting 11. I understand your question, of course. And the two that they started, we are talking about players £100 million. Okay, they started with 9 players. They were already here. I understand your question. Of course, it will take time. I'm sure with the job of Graham's job, they will improve and they will improve, and of course they will be stronger and stronger and stronger. I'm 100% sure. But to talk about the game, because the 2 new players they came and they played, I think is unfair for our team. I think of course, your question was clear that our organization was really good. We as a team, we did it really well. But okay, many of these players they have many years in Chelsea as well, and they know each other really well. And if you sign a player with this quality like Enzo and Modric as well, and they are able to play if the coach decides. Yes, proper derby, and a good derby from ourselves. I think was from the first minute that the players they understood really well the plan, and they executed really well as well. From the first minute we were here to embrace the challenge, to face them, and to play eyes to eyes against Chelsea. We knew before the match how it would be difficult against a very good side, lot of quality, individual quality, and of course we knew that they didn't play last week, of course, with more time to prepare the game, more time to settle all the new players as well. I said our players that we have to be even better than the last game we played at Cottage against them 2 or 3 weeks ago. And they did it from the first minute, the way we pressed them in some moments, more high, other moments a little bit more middle of walk. But the way we tried always to play forward, the way we were offensive in some moments, our reaction first half in some moments when we lost the ball was really, really good. And I think we deserve to clear the points. Of course, they had one very good chance first half. We had one good moment from Andreas, and the other from William probably should have scored as well. But second half they had that moment, and when Bern came a little bit early, and one team made that fantastic clearance in that situation. Last minutes of the game, of course, they forced a little bit more. They pushed us a little bit more back. Normal situation, normal reaction from the home team and the team that has all the pressure to win that game. But our organization was really good, and I definitely agree with you. I think we deserve to clear the result.
Dan.
I think he's a great football player. Definitely, he will be really important in this football club. To be honest, we have changed many things. Of course, we knew before the match that it was difficult for us to predict not the 11 or how many new players they are going to play. For us, it's not important who is going to play. For us, it's much more important Chelsea as a whole. And it was difficult for us to predict really if they are going to start with 4, if they are going to start with 3, because they change. They have the capacity to change. Even during the matches, they have this capacity as well. For example, we planned the game at Cottage for them to play with 4, and they started the game with 3 at the back. For that reason, sometimes it's difficult to predict. But since we knew the lineup, we knew that they are going to play with the back, probably with Enzo as a 6 and the two players more offensively, that like Gallagher and Mount. And then the way you face them in that moment, if you are aware, is normal the way you press all the teams in this competition if they play with the 4 and plus the 6. Behind our 2 players. Of course, Andreas is a key player in that first pressure when you face the opposition side as well. Mitro is always ready to help as well, and I think we blocked well that situation, that first moment. Sometimes we gave the ball a little bit more for one of the central defenders, even if you know that both they have quality. Thiago has a lot of quality in their build-up as well, but the 2 guys up front, they did a very good job in that moment, and our midfielder line plus the back line, they did it fantastic as well. We are much more mature as a team. You are even if you consider a last minute goal against Newcastle in all these games, and you are an offensive team as you know. Of course, last few games you haven't scored many goals, but you have to understand against type of teams you play. You play twice against Chelsea, played against Newcastle. Is the best defense in this competition. Even in that game we missed a penalty as well, and we played against Tottenham. In the other part of the game, of course, you are improving in our pressure, we are in our compactness, our organization as well. Our two fullbacks this evening, they did an amazing game, plus our two central defenders as well. I think our team is improving collectively. Individually, we are improving. Of course, it's something that we have been talking about. Even if you are an offensive team, of course, if you concede less goals, you have more chance to win games, and the clean sheet is really important for us. No, of course it is. As I said, not because the individual players, much more in some moments because it's the first time that we played against Potter's team. We did it against Brighton at home, and after twice against Chelsea. In the three games is always difficult to predict because the way sometimes they start, the way they can change three or four at the back as well. Even some moments if they play with four, the way they change quick to build with three players at the back. Of course, with so many players arriving as well, it's difficult to predict something. But more or less, we weren't surprised with their lineup. To be honest, we expected Enzo to start and Mudryk to start as well. But I have to say, yes, sometimes it's more difficult when many players are arriving to predict the individual players that they are going to start. But we respect Chelsea as a whole. And more than that, we respect much more ourselves. Our focus, to be honest, is much more on ourselves, what we can improve, analyzing the Chelsea and all the teams that we play against, but much more focus on ourselves and what we can do as a team. No, it's been fantastic for us. It's been brilliant, but not just team, of course. They asked me about João and João Palhinha, and I answered to them. But all the players, they arrive. Most of them that they are playing in our starting 11, they have settled so well in our football club, in our system, the way we like to play as well. It was a big help for them, the way they were welcome in our football club, the way our dressing room welcomed them. The platform was here already from the last season, and was really important to keep that core of players that we kept, and of course João, like Andreas, William, the new players they started. It's a very good game again this evening as well. Bern as well. There are many. It's difficult for me to just individualize in one. I think our strength is much more as a team, but I agree with you. João set up really well. It's being really important for us.